Welcome to NACTV Reads and News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. All right, this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, December the 16th, 2022. And on the front page, there's a great picture of NACI's Major Production that was put on this past week. It's entitled Life Under the Sea at the Roxy Theatre. The group were all decked out in some spectacular costumes for their performance of The Little Mermaid Jr. last week. All of the actors and crew worked hard to put on a good show, entertaining the large crowd that attended to watch. Pictured here are Flounder, that's played by Althea Paring, Ariel, played by Sheen Kalamba, and their feathered friend Scuttle, played by Emma Gale. They look on as Ariel dreams of life on land. And there's some other pictures on page 12 that I'll show you. NACI's Major Production group stunned the audience with a spectacular performance and a variety of outstanding costumes last week when they got on stage for The Little Mermaid Jr. The scenes pictured above are just a few examples from the show and a small portion of those behind the group effort. It was really great. I had the good fortune to watch it, and it really was wonderful. All right, back to the front page. High Life donates to NCMC by Casper Werhan. High Life's second annual company-wide Holiday Helpers Food Drive has been declared a success. Over the past month, employees from across High Life operations contributed non-perishable food items for the purpose of donating to local food banks. In Neepawa, these donations are being made to the Neepawa and Community Ministries Center. However, there was an extra holiday twist for 2022. The twist was presented after the food items was delivered to NCMC on the morning of December the 12th. We are very pleased with the response to the food drive from our employees, and this year had a bonus with $6,000 in monetary donations being made to the NCMC, said Tyler Lazaruk, Executive Director of Sales and Business Optimization for High Life. These funds are part of those left over from the fun day that we hosted earlier this year. And it goes on to say, the funds donated to the NCMC is part of a total of $50,000, which is being split and gifted to several non-profit organizations that work to make the holidays brighter for their neighbors who may be struggling with food insecurity. The food donated to the NCMC weighed in at approximately 250 pounds. One of our core values is being a community partner here and in all the communities we're involved in, Lazaruk enthused. For myself, having a young family, knowing that families are getting help like this over the holidays is great. Today is a really exciting day. Amanda Nottingale, Director of Ministries for NCMC, shared her reaction to both the food and funding donations with the Banner and Press on behalf of the organization. We were super surprised and super excited to receive these donations from the community and High Life, said Nottingale. The need is great, and so we really appreciate it. This year, we're expecting our Christmas campaign to cost $20,000, with the kettle funds only covering about 1/3 of that right now, Nightingale expanded, stressing just how important this announcement is for NCMC. We really appreciate these kinds of donations and any donations we receive. In her final comments, Nightingale wished to extend an additional word of thanks, saying we're so blessed to have a committed community and we're so thankful for corporate donations such as High Life's. And we have a picture here, right here, of Deborah Kasprick, who is the High Life office manager, and Tyler Lazarek, who is the executive director of sales and business optimization for High Life. Here they are delivering a donation of food and funding to the NCMC, which was accepted by the ministry's director, Amanda Nightingale. And speaking of giving, I'll just continue on with this page. Gym fundraiser supports breast cancer awareness. In October, Whitey's Body Shop in Neepawa hosted a fundraiser workout in support of breast cancer awareness. Members of the club, can't really see it, it's a small picture of some of the members here, gave their time, money, and energy to the cause. As a result, Sherry Hawken, the owner and operator of Whitey's, was recently able to present $700 to RN Kristen Wilson at the Neepawa Health Center's Cancer Care Department. And here we have a picture too, Farmers Help Feed Families in Need, submitted by Manitoba Pork. December always feels like a special month filled with holiday celebrations, work parties, connecting with friends and family, and most importantly, sharing meals with those we love. The holiday season is also an important time of year to consider supporting those around us who may need a little extra help. Manitoba pork producers are committed to giving back to their communities year-round. By supporting local food banks like Harvest Manitoba, Southeast Helping Hands, the Salvation Army, and Agape Table, thousands of pounds of pork products are reaching hungry children, struggling adults and seniors, and the working poor across Manitoba. Making a positive contribution to society is at the heart of Manitoba hog sector's sustainability focus. The passion to support the well-being of communities across the province reflects our commitment to support those experiencing food insecurity, particularly during the holiday season. Manitoba pork producers work hard to ensure a safe, affordable protein is available to all. So we'll go on to the next part. Dr. George Ong and Arnie Suski honored by Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic. Their dedication towards improving local health care will not be forgotten, by Owen Devereaux. A pair of individuals who dedicated themselves to the betterment of health care in Neepawa and area have received some well-deserved recognition. On Friday, December the 9th, a pair of commemorative plaques were unveiled at the Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic, honoring the efforts of Dr. Ong, George Ong, and the late Arnie Suski. Neepawa District Community Medical Committee Board member John Nelson, who served as the MC, thanked those who attended the celebration. He said the support shown on this night for Dr. Ong and Suski was tremendous and proved just how much their commitments meant to the community. Dr. George Ong, a community mentor. Nelson then introduced committee member and finance chair Murray Parrott, who was selected to speak about Dr. George Ong. Parrott noted that Dr. Ong's drive and dedication to improved health care in the region has been an inspiration to many. Dr. George Ong has been a doctor for us, and he's been a mentor for us, for the community as well as all the other doctors. He's been a community leader. We can honestly say that Dr. George Ong, you are loved by this community. You have served your community faithfully, and you have guided the community. But better yet, what you have done is you have made sure that when you turned over your accomplishments, you turned them over to ready and steady hands to carry it on forward. So your legacy is here, your history is here, and you will always be here in our hearts, and I thank you for your service. In his comments to those in attendance, Dr. Ong noted that he was thankful to all the members of the executive committee who over the years did everything they could to establish and improve the clinic. He said the work that has been done over the years is not accomplished by just one person, but by a team. I always had this vision that if we had a clinic that everybody can work in and work together, then we can maintain medical services here. And I think that has come true, stated Dr. Ong. Over the years, we have done a lot, but there is still work to do. But I think we have a good group of doctors and people here that will carry on that work. Dr. Ong added that he is perhaps most proud of being able to get the community of Neepawa, the doctors, and the region as a whole working together on this important common goal. And now Arnie Suski, a leader by example. Committee member and lottery chairperson Mary Ellen Clark was next to speak and said a few words on Arnie Suski. She remembered the monthly 7 a.m. meetings every third Thursday of the month and how Arnie would keep everyone on time and energized about the get-together. We didn't always like the early morning meetings, but they sure worked for our community. Everybody came into the meetings fresh, ideas were fresh, and it worked, said Clark. As well, Clark reminisced about all the times Arnie would rush to the building if there were any type of physical issues that needed to be fixed. If something needed to get done, it was usually Arnie who would take the lead to try and make it happen. Clark concluded by thanking him for being so dedicated to the clinic and the community it serves. Arnie, you will be forever missed, but your love, dedication, energy, organization skills, work ethic, kindness, and the gentleman you were will never be forgotten. Arnie's family members were in attendance, including his son Jamie. After the dedication, Jamie spoke with the Banner and Press and said his father always put community and other people's stuff ahead of his own. It was important for him to give back to the community. Jamie added that Arnie never did any of this for publicity, and that likely if he were in attendance, he'd rather be working on fixing things than just standing around. The two commemorative plaques for Dr. Ong and Arnie Suski will now forever hang in the southern entrance of the Beautiful Plains Community Clinic. And here we have a picture of the members of the Suski family and Mary Ellen Clark. And this is Dr. George Ong and Murray Parrott. And these are the two commemorative plaques. Okay. Phase 2 of Lagoon Project makes progress. Neepawa Town Council meeting December 6, 2022 by Owen Devereaux. A company has been chosen to do the work on the town of Neepawa's next major upgrade to its lagoon system. On Tuesday, December the 6th, Council unanimously approved the recommendation from administration to the Manitoba Water Services Board to accept a bid of T.L. Penner Construction of Verdun. T.L. Penner will now be responsible for the Phase 2 improvements to the lagoon system, which include completion of the cell, implementation of the new aerial system, and upgrading of the treatment systems. Phase 1 involved the rehabilitation of the first secondary lagoon cell and construction of a new wastewater treatment building with modern technological equipment. The Verdun-based company was one of 5 that put a tender in on the project and had the low bid of $5.6 million plus GST. The cost of the improvement will be split between all 3 levels of government, with the federal government covering $2.283 million, that's 40%, the province looking after $1.9 million, that's 33.3%, and the town handling $1.5 million, or 26.67%. Any additional costs related to project engineering and consultation would be borne by the town. Now for the council reports. First is Murray Parrott. Murray Parrott informed council that he recently attended a planning board meeting and noted that a new chairperson has been selected. The new chair of the planning board is Greg McConnell. Next, Jason Nadeau. He offered an update on a regional library board meeting held in November. As well, he offered details from the recent board meeting of the Yellowhead Centre held on November 21st. A big point of conversation at the meeting was the upcoming examination of maximizing effectiveness of the facility, as well as the preparation to be done for the Provincial Curling Championship. Yvonne Sisley added context on the Yellowhead board meeting and mentioned by Nadeau with the town of Neepawa on efficiencies, and also reminded local organizations that the community grant applications are due on December 31st. The Environmental Health and Volunteerism Committee has been established on a pilot project basis for 1 year, with Jason Nadeau as chair and Brian Headley as a committee member. The committee will engage with Neepawa residents on environmental stewardship related to the environmental health of the community. And for disaster assistance claim, Neepawa Council has approved absorbing the costs related to assisting a nearby municipality in a time of emergency. In the spring of 2021, a massive wildfire swept across western Manitoba. The fire broke out in the CFB Shiloh Range and Training Area and burned approximately 15,000 hectares. A fair-sized portion of that damage was in the municipality of North Cypress Langford. After the fire was contained, North Cypress Langford officials filed a disaster assistance claim to the province to help cover the costs associated with stopping the blaze. The provincial government recently denied the claim and will not be assisting with reimbursement. Officials with the municipality of North Cypress Langford have since contacted the town of Neepawa of the provincial decision and asked for a reversal of an invoice associated with the Neepawa Fire Department helping to contain the damage. The town was previously informed during the emergency that the municipality may not be able to reimburse them if their claim was rejected. The cost absorbed is around $6,300, which included 63 hours of labor and usage of a water tankard and 63 hours of labor. Council has approved the consulting firm Scatliff, Miller and Murray to proceed with design work on Phase 2 for Back 40 multi-use park trail. The maximum amount of the work is tagged at $48,900. The creation of new municipal roads near the new hospital have been approved. The east-west road will be an extension of Hamilton, while the other proposed north-south road is currently unnamed, but will be up for discussion in the future. As well, a proposal on a traffic impact study for the new hospital project has been approved at a cost of $20,040 plus tax. Okay, this is another article about the Christmas hampers by Casper Warehol. The Neepawa and Community Ministries Center, or NCMC, will have had a busy week as this paper goes out. Staff and volunteers were hard at work packing toys and gift cards for their annual Christmas hamper program on December the 14th, with hampers being sent out for delivery on December 15th and 16th. Amanda Nottingale, NCMC Director, told the Banner and Press on Monday, December 12th, that the program has already surpassed the number of clients that were assisted last year. We had around 151 families last year. Right now we're over 160, and we have still been receiving calls this morning, so we'll probably have more by the end of the week. Although the deadline for additional 2022 toy donations will have passed, donations in other forms are always gratefully accepted. Monetary donations are certainly welcome, and the food bank is always running, said Nottingale. The need is always there, so we're definitely always happy to accept those donations as well. Donations for the food bank program can be brought to the NCMC building, while monetary donations can be made via the ongoing Kettle campaign. All the money from the Kettle campaign stays in the community to help with our Christmas hampers and other community support programs, so it directly provides aid to those in our community who need it. The use of gift cards for the Christmas hampers, as has also been done in recent years, instead of providing food directly, gives clients more freedom when using the program. Gift cards allow our clients to select what they need, not since everyone does what's considered a traditional Canadian Christmas dinner, the turkey and all that, Nottingale explained. So this gives our clients more autonomy and dignity. As well, there was an opportunity to access the food bank earlier this month, so anyone who did need that support was able to get supplies through there as well. Although the NCMC was well covered in terms of assistance for packing and delivering of Christmas hampers, Nottingale told the Banner and Press that more volunteers to help with the last shifts of the Kettle campaign are needed. If anyone wishes to lend a hand, they are asked to call Leah Anderson, NCMC Community and Family Services Worker and 2022 Kettle Coordinator, by calling 431-759-5536. Sharing a final comment, Nottingale wished to extend her gratitude, stating, "Thank you to the general community for always being so gracious and supporting these campaigns. Whenever there is a great need, we have found that we've always been great at stepping up to help out. With the need we have, any support will definitely help out this year." And the Rotary Club of Neepawa would like to thank the many businesses and individuals who donated cash or items to contribute to the success of our online auction. Much of the funds raised will be redistributed within the community. We also wish to thank the many individuals who participated in the bidding process. A successful auction has many people bidding on each item. Your participation has helped to make this a successful fundraiser, so thank you from the Rotary Club of Neepawa. A birthday and a Bruins win, not a bad day all around. Here's a picture of Fred Larwood celebrating his 90th birthday on December 11th at the personal care home facility in McCreary. He made history as the longest-lived Larwood. He was joined by his niece, Joyce Cook, nee Brian, from Ottawa, who hadn't seen him since 2000. The home was in lockdown, but they had a good visit by Skype and relatives in Australia and beyond. A good time was had by all and could only be made better if the Bruins, the NHL club that Fred roots for, won their game. Fortunately, Boston did its best in the festivities for Fred, defeating the Vegas Golden Knights 3-1. All right, an article by Ken Waddell entitled Local Angus Breeders Stage First Sister Sale. Beef producers gathered at the Beautiful Plains Egg Complex at Neepawa to attend the first ever sister sale. The sale featured Angus heifers from local breeders, Camo Cattle Company, JAS Red Angus, and Madsen Angus. Acting as spokesman for the breeder group, Cam Tibbett welcomed the buyers who attended in person and as online bidders. Attending buyers and supporters were treated to a beef on a bun lunch and a reception after the sale. Tibbett noted that the breeder group wanted to recognize their commercial customers by offering some of their heifers to open the sale. Commercial guest consigners were Bruce Rosling of Gladstone and Matthew and Jewel Kolbecki of Eden. Many of the purebred heifers were sold as choice of 2 in the ring, and the buyer got his pick of the 2. The remaining heifer goes back home. It shows how much confidence we have in our stock, explained Tibbett. Starting off the sale lineup were several groups of 3 commercial heifers from various customers of the breeders group. The commercial heifers ranged in price from $2,500 to $3,600 each. The purebred, open, and bred heifers followed in rapid order. Tibbett said, "We were very happy with the first sister sale. We are planning for another one next year." The group is also gearing up for their annual Buy the Beef sale in early April at the Beautiful Plains Egg Complex at Neepawa. The highest selling lot went for $6,100, and the sale average was $3,650. Doug McLaren of JAS Red Angus said, "We thought the sale went really well. We were impressed by the local support and the online bidding. The auctioneer and staff did a great job." All right, Minnedosa celebrates with Christmas in the Valley. Minnedosa was eagerly getting into the holiday spirit on December 10th when it's held its annual Christmas in the Valley celebration. Pictured here are a few of the activities that went on that day. Here we have kids and adults eagerly lined up for some sleigh rides through the valley. Here we have a Minnedosa Santa Parade participant dressed quite appropriately in a box and with festive wrapping paper as he greeted sightseers. Another appearance that night was the Grinch, whose heart had thankfully already grown 10 sizes ahead of the event and gladly participated in all the cheer. And here's one of the floats of the many featured in the Santa Parade. And I took in that whole day, and it was just a great event. Well done, Minnedosa. And here we have a local person winning $3,000 in a toonie pot. Congratulations to Cecil Pittman of Neepawa, who was the lucky winner of NACTV's Bingo Toonie Pot recently. He won a grand total of $3,224. Woohoo! Now, this is a great article. The kids are so excited this has finally happened. By Casper Werhan. Representatives of the Parent Advisory Committee, or PAC, Neepawa Middle School, or NMS, students, teachers, and co-op representatives all donned winter gear on December the 8th. The special occasion that day was the ribbon cutting for the brand new play structure located on the NMS grounds. Neepawa Gladstone Co-op has been a primary sponsor for this structure, with many other groups pitching in as well. The kids are so excited this has finally happened, said Valerie Perieski, who is the principal of the Neepawa Middle School. They're already out playing on it and using it on the weekends. It's a great benefit, not only to the school, but to the community. Brian Headley, General Manager for Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, added, "It really is fantastic to see the kids of the Neepawa Middle School and the wider community enjoying it." Although the structure is ready for use, there are still some additions planned. The final piece that has yet to be installed arrived last week and will be installed in the spring. Other touch-ups to the space are also planned for that period, with a grand opening barbecue being planned before the end of the spring season. Thanks is extended from the PAC and NMS to all of the sponsors that helped to make this project happen. And there's another picture here as the excitement grew as Liesl Milligan, Parent Advisory Council Secretary, I think that's her there, Brian Headley, Val Perieski, the principal, Brian Headley, Neepawa Mayor and Neepawa Gladstone Co-op General Manager, Sherry Hollier, the middle school vice principal, and Heather Segway, the parent council treasurer, and they began the ribbon cutting ceremony. The co-op was a key supporter of the play structure project, and pictured as Brian Headley as he declares the new play structure officially open and begins cutting the ceremonial ribbon. Very nice. Now the sports pages. Aces hold off late surge from Dumaguete. A final push in the fourth quarter was not enough for Dumaguete in their game against the Aces on Saturday, December the 10th in the Neepawa Ballers Basketball League. The Aces were able to hold on for a 54-47 victory. And the Neepawa Figure Skating Club is now in full swing and is getting ready for the upcoming annual Christmas ice show. This season we have 18 star skaters who skate Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with Coach Kim Smith. Many of the star skaters are hoping that the ice show will help them get the jitters out before all the competitions in the new year. We also have 27 can skaters and 5 senior can skaters, helped out by many of our star skaters and coached by Kim Smith. These tiny skaters are sure to put everyone into the Christmas spirit. The annual Christmas Ice Show will be on Sunday, December 18th from 3:30 to 5:30 at the Yellowhead. Administration is a silver collection and or a non-perishable food item to be donated to the Salvation Army. The Figure Skating Club is excited to perform for our many families, friends, and community fans, so please come out and join us for some great skating. The Yellowhead Chief results. They had 7 league games scheduled last weekend. Listed are some of the game results as well as notable efforts from the Neepawa-based players. For the male under 18 results, December 18th, Yellowhead won 3-2 against Winnipeg Thrashers. On December 10th, Winnipeg Bruins beat Yellowhead 4-1. On December 11th, Winnipeg Bruins beat Yellowhead 5-2. Female under 15 results. December 10th, Yellowhead beat Norman 2-1. December 11th, Yellowhead beat Norman again, 6-1. Male under 15 results. December 10th, Yellowhead beat Interlake 10-4. And Yellowhead beat Eastman 3-1. Now we go to high school hockey. It was lucky number 13 for the Neepawa Tigers on Wednesday, December 7th against the Major Pratt Trojans in Westman High School Hockey League. Tarek LaPointe scored 5 times, and Jory Kalbaki had a pair of goals and 4 assists for NACI on the way to a decisive 13-3 victory. Early on, it didn't seem as though there would be offensive outbursts from the Tigers, as they were held to just 1 goal from LaPointe in the first period and trailed 3-1 at intermission. Things took a drastic turn in the second, however, as Neepawa scored 5 times in the period. LaPointe and Kalbaki each had a pair, while Tristan Friesen netted 1 of his own to make it 6-3. In the third period, Neepawa seemed to find ways to score without even trying, as Major Pratt was unable to keep pace. A few of the Tigers' 7 goals in the third were simply the result from taking advantage of miscues from the Trojans, as it seemed they just started waiting for the game to end. LaPointe added 2 more goals, while Friesen tallied another pair of his own. Riley Davey, Daniel Lissaway, and Miles Willerton also scored for NACI to make this final score 13-3. Jory Kalbaki ended the game with 7 points, while Tarek LaPointe had a 6-point effort. The Neepawa Tigers hit the highway to Grandview for their next game on Saturday, December the 10th, a showdown versus the Roblin/Grandview/Gilbert Plains Raiders. In this matchup, the Tigers scored early and often on the way to a 12-5 victory. The first period was close between the two sides, with Neepawa just holding on to a 3-2 lead after 20 minutes. Jory Kalbaki scored the first 2 of the night for Neepawa within the first 7 minutes of play. The Raiders replied with 1 of their own before Brody Pollock put away 1 for the Tigers on a power play. Just before the end of the period, RGG scored their second goal to make it 3-2. The second period would see both teams get goals in bunches, as Neepawa scored 2 in a row, followed by 3 straight from the Raiders, then another 3 by the Tigers. Jory Kalbaki added another 2 goals, while Ward Brister, Riley Davey, and Cohen Kalbaki all notched singles to make it 8-5. For the final period, Neepawa was able to secure the victory with 4 power play goals. Ward Brister scored twice, while Jory and Cohen Kalbaki both added 1 more to the stats. At the end of regulation, Jory had 5 goals and 1 assist, while Cohen had 2 goals and 2 assists. Brister was the other big name on the game sheet with 5 points, 3 goals and 2 assists. So what's next? Well, these recent results for the Tigers have the team sitting with a 7-3-0 record. Neepawa will play 4 more games before the Christmas break. The first was a home game on December 14th against the BSR Falcons. The results to that game were finalized after the banner press publication deadline. Neepawa's other games include road trips to Verdun and Dauphin, and 1 last home game on Sunday, December 18th, against the, I think that's Carberry Wildcats. Start time at the Yellowhead Center is set for 6:30 p.m. All right, still with sports, Neepawa Titans earned 3 of possible 6 points during Northern Road Trip. The Neepawa Titans have returned home from their annual road trip to northern Manitoba, where they faced the Ocean Blizzard. Neepawa played 3 games in 3 nights at the Gordon Latham Memorial Center in the Paw. In their first game, the Titans may have been dealing with the wear and tear of a 5.5-hour bus ride, as they were handily beaten by a 4-0 margin. After a night's rest, the Titans were much better out on the ice, taking OCN to overtime before losing 3-2. Cam Trimble and Owen Poirier each scored for Neepawa in regulation. In the third and final game of their road trip, the 2 teams once again went into overtime. Fortunately, this time out, it was the Titans who would come away with the extra points, scoring the game winner just 38 seconds into the extra frame to make the final score 4-3. Hayden Stocks collected the OT winner, while Briley Wood had 2 goals and Josh Romanek scored during regulation. Gavin Renwick picked up his 3rd win of the year in net for Neepawa, making 26 saves. These results netted Neepawa 3 of possible 6 points in the standings, making their record 12, 14, 6, and 1 on the season, good enough for 31 points in the standings. The Titans will wrap up the 2022 portion of their season with 3 games, including a pair at home. On Friday, December 16th, they will play the Winnipeg Blues, while on Tuesday, December 20th, they will take on the Wewesukapa Wolverines. Both those games will have a start time of 7:30 p.m. at the Yellowhead Centre. And then for the news of the Neepawa farmers. It was a rough week for the Neepawa farmers as the team dropped a pair of road games on the Tiger Hills Hockey League schedule. First, the farmers were bested by the Gladstone Lakers on Wednesday, December 7th, following 12-5. The Lakers pretty much secured the win in the initial 20 minutes of play by scoring 6 times in just 20 minutes. Neepawa's lone goal in the first was a power play marker from Brad Marshall. In the second, both teams collected a pair of goals, with Kyle Martin and Corbin Mariash getting the goals for the farmers. For the third period, Gladstone scored 3 straight before Neepawa replied with markers from Shane Byram and Benoit Mowbray. In total, McDonald led the night for Neepawa with 4 points, while Jesse Toth and Sean Kubis and Jory Geddes all had 5-point performances. JC Kennedy was another notable contributor, getting 3 goals and 1 assist. The next game was a little further down the road, as the farmers had to travel all the way to Killarney to take on the Shamrocks. It wound up being another disappointing one for Neepawa, as they would lose 7-1. Killarney scored the first 7 goals of the night before Neepawa ruined the shutout bid of Brian Archibald, as Kyle McDonald scored with just 15 seconds left in the final period. These recent losses dropped Neepawa back into 4th place in the Eastern Division with a 4-7-0 record. The Farmers' next home game will be Saturday, December 17th, when they play the Minnesota Elkhorn Seahawks. The start time at the Yellowhead Centre is set for 7:30. After besting the Farmers to December 7th, the Gladstone Lakers kept their impressive winning streak alive with a 9-5 decision over Wawanesa. After dropping their first 2 games of the year, Gladstone has now won 7 straight and are at the top of the Eastern Division, tied with Minnesota Bombers with 14 points. The Lakers, however, currently hold the tiebreaker, having beaten the Bombers earlier this year. Elsewhere around the league, the Minnesota defeated the Souris Elks 8-1. Bryson Bicky Mallet and Zane Sawyer each contributed a pair of goals and 1 assist. And a pair of goals and 1 assist for the Bombers. Victor Lamb, 2 goals. Clay Bergeson, 1 goal, 3 assists. And Tony Partridge, 1 goal, 2 assists, also came up big for Minnesota. Oops. All right. So for lighting up this holiday season, why not add a warm glow by helping out the Neepawa District Palliative Care Program? Contribute $5 in memory of a loved one. As you contribute, your memorial can be viewed in the window of Harris Pharmacy. The memory tree will be located at Mountain Avenue and Davidson Street, downtown Neepawa. Drop your contributions at one of these Neepawa locations: Neepawa Hospital, It's Time Fashion and Gifts, the Neepawa Banner and Press, Home Hardware, Neepawa Pharmacy, and Harris Pharmacy. Nutrition Bite. Enjoy holiday eating. How do I indulge without feeling bad about what I'm about to eat? This feeling of dread is known as food guilt or food shame, and it's common, especially around the holidays. Here are some tips that may help you to not feel guilty while consuming your holiday favorites. Number 1, be mindful. Paying attention to hunger and fullness can empower you to make healthy choices and allow for more enjoyment and appreciation of what we eat. Be present with the food and take time to be with your family and friends. Number 2, eat regularly throughout the day to maintain your body's energy levels and to prevent extreme hunger later on in the day. Number 3, choose nourishing food while allowing yourself to consume your favorite foods without guilt. We eat different foods for different reasons, and that is okay. Number 4, keep moving. Start by choosing an enjoyable activity involving those in your household if you wish, and getting some fresh air. Remember that dieting and restricting food intake can also lead to eating more than you had intended. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate the endless messaging of needing to control your food intake. Take time to enjoy all the flavors of the holiday season. This is just a picture of Gladstone's glory years. They had a school called Keys School, and this is a class from 1944. These individuals were all attending classes at the Keys School in 1944, taught by a Miss Bessie Payne. This photo appeared in the Gladstone's Glory Years booklet series. Now, we have a cartoon that Jeremy Vogt has written and designed. He works for the Banner and Press and is actually running the camera today. So this is his interpretation of Santa Claus. It's called Josh and Laura. And Santa Claus is saying, well, hello there, and what would you like to ask Santa for this Christmas? He's got a little girl on his lap, and she says, I want a brown and white pony, a Lego Avengers set, and a social media influencer Barbie, and Pokemon Jade. Santa says, ho, 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 I'll tell my elves to get right on that. Is that everything you want? Like a little girl kind of looks, well, what I really want is for my mommy and daddy to get back together. And Santa's a little surprised. He goes, you see, Santa can't. Just kidding, the little girl says. But seriously, about that pony. Good one, Jeremy. Now we have a few pictures of Kinsman Court 2 residents supporting their hometown team. What's going on there? Corey Ford recently organized a Neepawa Titans night at Kinsman Courts 2. Along with watching Neepawa's game against the Ocean Blizzard live on Hockey TV, the residents participated in a shoot-to-win contest. The prize was the Junior A Hockey Club's recently published book. The 30-year history of the Neepawa natives, 1989 to 90 to 2019 to 20, written by Rick Sparling. Olga Code, 101 years old, ended up winning the book by shooting 5 pucks with 4 going in the net. As well, supper was served in the activity room so that the residents didn't miss a minute of the action. They all cheered on the Titans as they won in overtime. Aw. All right, here we have Neepawa Banner and Press declares shop hometown winners. There were plenty of names entered into the Banner and Press's shop hometown draw, which was finalized on December the 12th. Neepawa Banner and Press salesman Joel Asselstein aided in the drawing of the names after posing with some of the bags returned to the paper by the businesses who supported the initiative. That's him there. This paper is happy to announce the top 3 winners from the draw this week. Here we have Joel presenting Kayla Kostenchuk with her shop hometown winnings of $1,500 in shop hometown bucks. Oh. And here we have Randy Gagne receiving a prize of $1,000 in shop hometown bucks from Joel for being drawn second in the shop hometown draw. The prize for the 3rd draw goes to Shelley Pezawisti, who will be pictured in next week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Okay, so we'll go back. Right, no, I missed this page. Homebodies by Rita Friesen. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, honestly, that look began to appear before Halloween. The look began in stores and in some homes long before I even felt like trying to get in the mood. I have come to a deeper understanding about the tree and lights going up and on so early. In the circle of people I love and care deeply about are those that dread the long dark days, and the glow of lights brightens their day and their outlook. Most of them try to wait until the passing of Remembrance Day, and mostly they succeed. And if they don't, that's okay. I get it too, that merchants need the success of this holiday season sales to keep on going, and we all want local merchants to continue to serve our community. We know they serve us well and in a way that we really cannot expect to be served in many large centers. I'm going to truly digress and share an often told story. Working local retail, I was able to assist an elderly woman in the selection of the perfect fitting bra. Yep. I was in the dressing room, tucking and lifting until we found the perfect one. And as I walked away, feeling accomplished, I heard her say quietly to her friend, "Write down that number and I will pick it up in the city." Not too likely anyone in a larger, more economical outlet would have been as patient. I can laugh now. It took a day or two, so thank you all, our local suppliers. When we were raising the first 5 children, the standing rule was that no decorations went up until the night before the first Sunday of Advent. I learned early that was early enough. For once the house was decked and bedecked. It stayed that way until the middle of January. And yes, the glowing lights on tree and doorway brightened many a winter night. Even with the grands around, we stuck pretty much to the same schedule. And now, well, things are different on so many different levels. There is no scheduled gathering of the clan at my home. There will be gatherings, but not here. I truly am okay with that. For me, hosting was work, hard work, cleaning the home, preparing sleeping spaces for many, food for days of eating, and gifts to buy. Threw in a few scheduled activities, some which were opportunity for service, cards, and phone calls. Well, for me, it was hard work. I think it is too. Rewarding for certain, but I am not volunteering to repeat hosting. I will do a bit of baking to give away. I have set up some decorations. Not sure I need a tree, but I need the white ceramic country church. Looks just like the old Norgate church with the nativity scene set out beside it. The lights glowing through the windows make me smile. As we get ever closer to Christmas, I encourage everyone to drop the stuff that isn't important anymore. Pick up a new custom, one that fits you now. Breathe deeply, inhale slowly, and enjoy this season. Tired of Waiting? Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine. It's a statement that we hear quite often. Most of the time, the statement comes from the opposition benches in Parliament or the provincial legislature. It goes something like this. Canadians are tired of waiting for this social program to be put in place or for this piece of legislation to be passed. When will this government come to its senses and do the right thing and give Canadians what they want? Canadians aren't the only ones to make such a statement. It is being made by people in every corner of the globe, just as it has been since the beginning of time. In ancient history, when people got tired of waiting for a change in government, they took matters into their own hands. They gathered a group of supporters around them, plotted to overthrow the existing government, and at a specified time put their plan into action. Sometimes they succeeded. More often than that, they failed miserably. In Jesus' day, the Jewish people were waiting for something that they could only hope for and dream about, the restoration of independent kingdom of Israel with the son of King David sitting on the throne as its king. They had been waiting for more than 400 years. In that time, they had been conquered and reconquered by 4 successive world empires: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and most recently Rome. On the 4, the Romans were by far the worst. Their first act, after taking control of the Greek Empire, was to build a network of paved roads linking key cities and towns. The roads made it easy to transfer goods, services, and people from one place to another, which was a huge benefit when Rome had to move legions of soldiers from one place to another to put down a revolt or repel an enemy invasion. Rome's efficiency at crushing revolts was legendary. Revolutionaries were shown no mercy. They were arrested, tortured, and then put to death using the Roman method of capital punishment, crucifixion. Rome's strategy regarding its colonies was simple. If they won't respect us, we will make them be afraid of us. Either way, they will behave. But that didn't stop those Rome conquered from thinking about, hoping for, dreaming of, and praying that the days of Roman domination would end soon. That's what the people of ancient Israel were doing when John the Baptist introduced Jesus as their Messiah. He did not present Jesus as an earthly king. He told them that Jesus was the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. The people gave him the title Messiah and identified him as the one who had come to set up God's eternal kingdom of earth. And throughout his earthly ministry, they kept asking Jesus, is this the time when the kingdom will be restored to Israel? If not now, when? We are tired of waiting. But this wasn't the time for Christ's eternal kingdom. It would come later, and today we are still waiting for Christ to return, for peace and justice to be restored to this earth, and for the answer to the words we pray every week. Thy kingdom come. But there is one thing for which we do not have to wait. All who put their faith in Jesus Christ can receive instant forgiveness of sin, the assurance of eternal life, and the power to live a life that pleases God. That is God's gift to you today. Receive it with joy. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up to the Major Production crew responsible for putting together The Little Mermaid this past weekend. It was an ambitious undertaking, overcoming viruses, apathy, and new circumstances. The production was amazing and offered a beacon of light, laughter, and love to our community. Thank you to the directors, actors, and everyone behind the scenes. Kathleen Gillies of Eden, Manitoba. Now we're running out of time, and there's a couple of articles that's an extended part of the Neepawa banner this week that I was hoping to read. These are all messages of holiday greetings from Eileen Clark, the MLA of Agassiz, Mayor Brian Headley, the town of Neepawa, Dan Major, the MP for Dauphin Swan River, Neepawa, Mayor Ray Muirhead, the town of Carberry, Reeve Tom Anderson, the RM of Alonza, and Reeve Victor Braniak of Clan William and Erickson. And then there's a bunch of recipes by Helen Drysdale. Walnut squares, chocolate peanut oat bars, peppermint cookies, score bar brownies. Ooh, that sounds good. Lemon poppy seed cake and applesauce loaf. To pick up a banner for those recipes. Now, in this one, I can turn the page. Oh, a couple more. Cherry coconut tarts, chocolate peanut fudge, maple walnut fudge, frozen cranberry jelly or salad. Yes, and then these articles. When did Christmas lights become so popular? I thought might be interesting. It's submitted by a Metro Creative Connection. Holiday lights are now everywhere come the holiday season. Private homeowners tend to hang the holiday lights outside their homes around Thanksgiving weekend and keep them up through New Year's Day. Though it might seem like a tradition without a deep history, decorating a Christmas tree with electric lights can be traced all the way back to the 19th century. In 1882, Edward Johnson, who was a friend and colleague of the man who invented light bulbs, Thomas Edison, replaced candles which had traditionally been used to briefly light Christmas trees with light bulbs. But at the time of Johnson's innovation, the high cost and relative infancy of light bulbs ensured the idea did not catch on. And though United States President Grover Cleveland used electric lights to illuminate a Christmas tree in the White House in 1895, it would be another 8 years before General Electric would begin selling Christmas light kits. Those kits cost $12 in 1903, which equates to several $100s today. The first outdoor Christmas light shows started to become popular in the 1920s. And this is the same time when commercial sales of Christmas lights picked up. In the 1960s, General Electric's decision to begin manufacturing Christmas lights overseas helped reduce the price of outdoor lights even further, thus paving the way for the tradition of decorating home exteriors with string lights during the holiday season to take a firm hold. And that tradition remains wildly popular today. How to make Christmas Eve special for kids. Christmas Eve is viewed differently by different people, even those who live under the same Santa roof. ready roof. Adults may see Christmas Eve as crunch time, when they must prepare food for the next day or set up presents for their children to open in the morning. Children, on the other hand, are focused on Santa's visit and little else. Parents naturally want to make Christmas time as special as possible for their children, and that may involve ensuring that Christmas Eve is just as memorable as Christmas Day. The following are some ways to impart more magic into Christmas Eve celebrations. Attend Mass at Christmas. Practicing Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ on Christmas. On Christmas Eve, churches often hold celebrations that may include late evening or midnight masses that celebrate the birth of Christ when the calendar switches over to December 25th. While it does make for a late night, it can be thought-provoking for kids and a unique experience unlike any other. Bake fresh cookies. Children like to leave out a plate of cookies and a glass of milk for Santa. That makes Christmas Eve a perfect time to whip up a fresh batch of cookies. Explore different recipes to come up with a unique offering each year. Read a Christmas story. Watching television or looking at a tablet or mobile phone before bed can be too stimulating when it's time for children to wind down for bed. Choose a holiday tale or tales that can be read as a Christmas Eve bedtime story. Reciting the poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas is a great way to set the Christmas Eve mood. Make a batch of reindeer dust. Why would Santa's reindeer be left out when it comes to receiving treats? Reindeer dust, made from a combination of oatmeal, rice cereal, dried fruits, and glitter if desired, is purported to attract Santa's reindeer and provide them a nibble at the same time. Plus, it's generally safe for other animals in the yard to eat. Go caroling. Caroling may not be the norm, but some families may want to revive it. Close-knit families can organize family-centric caroling opportunities and roam the cul-de-sacs and other pedestrian-friendly areas singing popular songs. Christmas Eve is a great time to embrace various traditions that help to make the season even more special. Now, if I can get through this one, it's called Deck the Halls with Do-It-Yourself Decor. Decorating is one of the joys of the holiday season. Families often decorate together, and such traditions may include dressing the Christmas tree and hanging holiday lights around the house. A day spent making homemade ornaments is another great way to decorate and spend quality time together as a family during the holiday season. Though families can let their imaginations run wild when making ornaments at home, the following are some great starting points that can serve as springboards for holiday crafting sessions. One is snowmen. The holiday season simply wouldn't be the same without snowmen. Homemade snowmen can be made out of ping pong balls, which are the ideal size when making ornaments for the Christmas tree. Those who want to go a little bigger can glue wiffle balls or large polystyrene balls together, or create their own papier-mâché snowmen to display on mantels or on console tables in a foyer or a hallway. Next, a Santa Claus. Another staple of holiday decor, Santa Claus has inspired many a do-it-yourself holiday ornament over the years. A paper plate Santa Claus with a cotton ball beard glued on can make for a fun Christmas craft, especially for young children who can't wait for the big guy to appear on Christmas Eve. Another idea is penguins. Though they might not have a direct link to the holiday season, penguins evoke feelings of cold weather, making them an ideal addition to holiday decor themes. Make your own penguin family using polystyrene craft balls in assorted sizes, and then hang them on the tree or place them around the house. Another idea is reindeer. Santa would not be able to get the job done each Christmas Eve without his trustworthy team of reindeer. Popsicle stick reindeer projects can be fun for kids of all ages and a great way for youngsters to recognize the efforts of Dasher, Dancer, Comet, Cupid, and of course Rudolph, among others. Another idea is cookie cutters. Family baking sessions are a holiday tradition for millions of people. Though that often leads to batches upon batches of tasty cookies, it also means families tend to have a surplus of holiday cookie cutters around the house. Surplus cookie cutters tend to be discarded or relegated to the miscellaneous items drawers in kitchens, but a more awe-inspiring fate can await them. A coat of paint, some glitter, a little bit of string or twine is all families need to transform their extra cookie cutters into colorful tree ornaments. Holiday decorating sessions can be made even more fun when families take time to craft some do-it-yourself decorations together. There. So that does it for this edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. So thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully see you next week. So bye for now.